Thank you, Stephanie. It is now 7:03. Could we do roll call?
Commissioner Merritt,
Yes, here.
Commissioner Mohammed,
Yes, here.
Commissioner Dillard,
Here.
Commissioner Johnson,
Here.
and Commissioner Kichi.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Thank you, Stephanie. I'm going to go ahead and read the Native American Land Acknowledgement, and it reads, "We meet today in the community of Iowa City, which now occupies the homelands of the Native American nations, to whom we owe our commitment and dedication. The area of Iowa City was within the homelands of the Iowa, Meskwaki, and Sauk, and because history is complex and time goes far back beyond memory, we also acknowledge the ancient connections of many other indigenous peoples here. The history of broken treaties and forced removal that dispossessed indigenous peoples of their homelands was and is an act of colonization and genocide that we cannot erase. We implore the Iowa City community to commit to understanding and addressing these injustices as we work toward equity, restoration, and reparations." Next, I'll move on to agenda item number 3. If there's anyone online that would like to make a public comment not on the agenda, please go ahead and raise your hand. Thank you. Next, we'll move on to approval of the meeting minutes from August 15th. Stephanie?
Need a second.
Oh, yeah. I motion to approve. Is there a
I
second?
move.
Seconded.
Okay.
Okay, it's been
I
properly
second.
moved and seconded to approve the meeting minutes from August 15th. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Aye.
Anyone abstaining? Okay, motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Next, we are going to move into our agenda item number 5, next steps for phase 3 and 4, including upcoming events and engagement. We can use this time to give some updates from the last few events or things that have happened since we last came together. Anyone want to give an update?
I first would like to apologize to everybody for the Latino Festival. I was not able to make that because I had a bit of a emergency, if you will, that kind of occupied my exact time, and there was a lot going on. So I just want to apologize for that. Just came up, wasn't expected.
Thank you for that.
Yeah,
Cliff?
me too. I couldn't make it. Sorry for that. Just I get very busy.
Amos, were you able to go to it?
Yes,
I heard that you were there. Tell us about it.
I was able to attend that one. First, I want to talk about the Willow Creek one by the
Okay.
Johnson County Neighborhood Centers. That went well. It was me and Commissioner Lou. We were there for much of the event from around 12 to almost 4 or 5, and it went very well. There were a lot of people there, mainly the community, immigrant community from Sudan that seemed to be living in the neighborhood area, but there were also other people. And we had volunteers. Usually we evaluate our progress based on the volunteers. I think Commissioner Cliff talked about that in the first event we had, of the importance of having volunteers as a sign of interest and contacts with people. So I was looking for that too, and I remember the first one we did, we had 8 volunteers. I looked at the records. And in the Willow Creek event we had, that was on August 18th, we had 10 volunteers. We had contacts with about 3 males and 24 females of people who were of BIPOC. And there were 2 females who were white that we had discussions with. We had to explain a few things to them, and they had interest. On the Latino Festival, we also had 10 volunteers who were willing to work with us. 2 of them are University of Iowa graduate students, one in psychology, one in social work, and they were very much interested in the things we were working on, and they wanted to be involved. I was just not able to offer them anything that could probably put them into action, because we don't have a proper plan for that yet. We have not discussed how well to accommodate them. And in this event too, we had 15 females, BIPOC, 11 females, a total of like 26 contact people we talked to. And then non-BIPOC persons were 1 male and 2 females. Yeah. So that is all that happened there. And I would also want to say that I really thank Stephanie for having beefed up our staff. We had pens, we had T-shirts, TRC booklets, and more volunteer sign-up sheets. So I was talked and I was able to be there. I was there from 12 to 7. It was interesting. I didn't have to be there all that time, but it was good. A lot of food and people interacting, and there was also Latino music. I had to go there a little bit late at night to listen to that. So I wasn't bored that day. It was a very good day for me. Yeah. And so I think that's for the events.
Well, thank you so much for being able to be there. I appreciate it.
Yeah, welcome.
Does anyone have anything to add about those tabling events that we had? It sounds like we got a good list of people. I might would love to suggest that maybe Stephanie, you could help us if we give you all the names. We could send out an email and maybe a poll asking when people might want to meet in the next couple weeks, either Zoom or in person, just to hear people's hearts, hear what we're hoping to accomplish before the end of our mandate. If that would be okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Great. Does anyone have any thoughts about that for a next step option?
I think that's a good idea.
Great. So I think it would be best to send an email out to those people, like I just said, and ask them when they're most available and try to accommodate around those schedules versus us setting some dates. Unless anyone has any specific things against that, we might have to do more than one to accommodate, but just kind of a meet and greet, like, thanks for stopping by. We'd love to talk more with you. Okay.
I think it would be helpful to at least have like parameters, like, so are you looking at like Saturday, Sundays, or are you looking at weekdays? But just to give, because otherwise I'm afraid you're going to get responses that are going to be hard to, come up with any direct date that would help or meet everybody. And I realize you're not always going to be able to accommodate everyone, but are you thinking like weekends or evenings? Or, because I mean, we can do like Monday through Friday, like, I don't know, 5 to 8 or something. And then like Saturday, like, how long are you wanting this to last?
45 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
Maybe. We could also, in that same email, invite people to come talk with us at our next meeting. So that would already be like a Thursday night.
Okay.
People who can't make that, maybe we can do something else. Love to do in public, 'cause people want to hear us talk in public, but also offline to let people, have their own talks as well. I see, Lubna, you have thoughts, questions. Please feel free to jump in.
Do we have option like Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, we can have whatever that everyone thinks is best. I'm just throwing out this idea and open to thoughts, what works best for everyone. And if we all can't, if it's outside of our Thursday meeting, we don't want to meet in a quorum anyways, so we need to split that up so we can have at least 2 different times that could work for half of us. So you suggest Sunday, Lubna? Is there a certain time you think is best?
After 4, is that okay?
After 4? So like at 4, or do you think like 5 or something?
Yeah, 4 o'clock.
Okay,
4
maybe,
o'clock.
so a Sunday, 4 o'clock option, a Saturday option. We'll invite people to come to us next Thursday meeting, have an agenda item to have an open dialogue, if that's okay with everyone. And is there another weekday that people would be interested in? I personally don't want to do it during my workday, which is 9 to 5, but other people are welcome to do that.
I can't do it. Friday is the only day that I'll be available.
So Friday, maybe? What time, Cliff?
It would have to be Friday in the afternoon/evening.
Like 3 or like 5?
4 to 5-ish.
4 to 5?
Those lines.
Okay. So I'm hearing a Sunday at 4, a Friday at like 4 to 5.
Yeah.
option, we'll do our 7 p.m. Thursday. And these don't have to be in the same week. They can be different weeks. And maybe,
I could do like between 6 and 8 on Wednesdays.
okay, maybe that's another
where
option.
I can be available.
Okay. So maybe we can put those. Is anyone interested in doing a Saturday? Maybe a Saturday, just to make it different, like 11 or noon.
I'm fine with Saturday. That's still okay with me.
So Stephanie, would it be possible to use those times and see what happens? Sure. And then it would be nice to have at least 2 of us at all those sessions, or maybe try to corral, see if people give us a couple different options that work for them, and then see how many people we can fit at one time. This is kind of uncharted territory. We can either do it Zoom or try to do something in person. Just want to give people who said they were interested more option to learn and see what maybe the will of the people would be to move forward. So thanks for engaging in that off the top of my head idea.
And when I send out
I could do the 4 o'clock at Sunday too.
Okay. So we'll just put all those different times and see what happens, and then we'll probably have to make it. Maybe we can get this email out in the next week or so. Is that possible, Stephanie?
Yeah, that's definitely. So to summarize what the email would say, we would have these options for different days and times, and then it would be an opportunity to have an open dialogue with members of the TRC, and also an opportunity to learn more about the work of the TRC.
The work of the TRC and how they can also engage or get involved.
Okay.
I believe I have one of those notebooks from earlier this summer, so I'll make sure to send a copy over to you, Stephanie. I don't know what other, you have the emails?
Yeah, the other
and
ones.
then, okay.
Yeah.
And if there's anyone that's not on those lists that we think should be on those lists, maybe also, Stephanie, could you include anyone that's on our current email list?
Yes.
Thank you. So that's great. That's exciting. That's some moving forward steps. Are there any other things we want to talk about that's been going on in the last month? I know there was another gathering that a couple people went to.
Yes. I want to report on a community meeting we had with...
You might want to put the mic just a little bit closer.
Yeah. Just wanted to report on a community meeting me and Commissioner Lobner had with some fellows from Africa, immigrants mainly, and this was at the Java House as we had planned. It occurred around 6 p.m. on August 20th. The Java House is the one in Mormont Trek, and I think Commissioner Lobner negotiated the place and the time, and that is what was convenient for them in terms of safety and transportation. So we believe we didn't put undue pressure to them, and they were willing to come, and there were 5 or 6 of them, and one male, the rest were females. They tend to be...
How many people, I'm sorry?
About 6.
6, okay.
Yeah. But Commissioner Lobner can correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, she was there all the time. So this event mainly centered on workplace discrimination. The members really wanted us to hear from them, even though we have been having other things given priority, but we felt that we have to listen to the community. We cannot tell them the topics to work on. So since they requested to talk to us, we were willing to accommodate them on that topic. And truly, that was their major concern, workplace. I took some notes, not very detailed, but as was required by, I think, by regulations that these things are made public. They are available with me. And I just want to report, if the commission wants me to report on these persons, I will not use the names on the complaints they had. And I think I will request that from the commission, if that is okay, to report on some of the complaints they had.
Of course. I mean, I think that's okay. Does anyone have any objections to that?
I do not.
No.
Just to clarify,
No objections.
these are from your notes. You're
Yes.
just repeating what people have told you.
Yes, the notes
Okay.
I took here. I did not record anything. I was just writing notes. Yeah, and in any event that I make an error, Commissioner Lobner is free to correct me at any time she wants. And so I'll talk about the first person, and she's female. Has worked at Oral-B for 2 years. And the complaint was with a white supervisor at work. This person has been very mean to her, yelling at her, asking her to go home early while others continue to work. That means she's always been getting less hours compared to other people. Mm-hmm. And another complaint from the first person, also from the supervisor, was about being able to, like she feels like she's being discriminated because while she's being told or forced to go back home when others continue with the shift, immediately 3 other persons are told to replace her. And that makes her really, really angry with what is going on. The workers she's working with are other Africans, but from other regions of Africa, who are probably Christians and not Muslims. Yeah. So she's seeing that these workers, other workers who are also African, tend to get more hours than what she's usually getting. Yeah. She's not talking about any other Muslims or other females, but herself. Yeah, this is on herself. I asked whether this kind of events were occurring due to what she's doing, her behavior at work ethics, and performance. She said she's always on time, very flexible, and always going to work whenever she is called to go to work. And she believes she's doing a very good work. Her performance is okay. We did not hear, I think the person has also talked with Lobner for a number of hours, and she's been interrogated by her. And Lobner, who happens to be an advocate for the community, also has interacted with the supervisors at Oral-B. They have not indicated to Lobner that these workers are having issues to do with the work performance or anything that could be creating this. So the person believes that she's being picked on due to language, Arabic, and also being Muslim. And she also believes that they are favorite people who are given more hours and also even given overtime. Yet she is always given less hours and told to go back home. This is what she wants us to do, or wants somebody to do something about. She wants a stop to discrimination. She's a single mom with a lot of responsibility and bills to pay and can't keep up with the bills. And I think given that she occupies the public housing where rents are usually prorated within 3 months, 4 months period, whenever she's told to go back home anytime, she finds it very difficult to pay the rent because she can't go tell the public housing authority that this month I was given only a few hours. So this has been given her a lot of trouble. And that's what she wanted to put across to the commission so that the commission can help or find a solution. I'll go to person number 2. She's also a single person who's female with 1 son who goes to school. And whenever the son goes to school, after the son has gone to school is when she goes to work. She also works at Oral-B. She's facing the same problem, being denied hours. And she believes this is due to retaliation by a line or group leader who is denying her hours. There seems to be something fishy going on between the supervisor, the group leader, and this worker. And the group leader, who happens probably to come from the community, seemed to be working very well with the supervisor and can easily implement a retaliation policy on her. She's always sent back home. And 2 other females who seem to be favorites of the group leader gets those hours. She keeps wondering why is that happening, why is she getting replaced with other females? This is the effects this has had on her. She's been forced to borrow money to pay rent, given that she also probably lives in the public housing where things are prorated and she can't just pay based on a 2-week pay slip. Now she can't afford to help her 7-year-old son get the basic school needs. So that's her frustration. She believes there's something that she wants something done so that she doesn't face these frustrations at workplace. And she's been missing a lot of hours, unlike others who always get good hours at the workplace. Person number 3, female also, works at Walmart. She's worked at Walmart for 2 years. But at some time, her supervisor was changed. She got a new white supervisor. She never had any problems. Those 2 years was working very well. That's why she has been able to work there for 2 years without any problem being sent home or told to quit or getting fired. But when this new supervisor came, she started giving her color warnings. So looks like there's something in Walmart where if you do certain things at the workplace, they give you color warnings, red, blue, yellow, something like that.
Can I just interrupt real quick? I'm a little worried about us naming actual employers and how that could affect lawsuits. So maybe moving forward, we should say local businesses and use other language just in case. Just want to point that out.
Can we confirm? Can we confirm with Stephanie? Is it okay?
I'm just going up based off
I would
past
have
things.
to ask the city attorney. As long as you're saying this is what you were told and that these were what was reported to you.
Okay.
But to get a solid answer, I would have to follow up with Eric in the morning.
As long as it's us not accusing anything, we're just saying this is what was told. That seems good enough to me. I just wanted to double check.
Okay.
I raise my hand for a question. Can you say your question again, Stephanie? Chastity?
I was just a little concerned because in the past, our city attorney has asked us to be a little bit more cautious when it comes to naming specific entities or businesses in the community because it can lead to lawsuits, and listing employers out loud could be a problem. I don't want us to, get bogged down like we have in the past with any of those issues. It's just precautionary, not sure at all. I thank you both for, going and talking to these people.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yes, I'm trying to find where I was. And,
You were number 3?
So the supervisor at this workplace started giving her problems. Well, immediately she was employed as a new person. I've mentioned about giving her color warnings, which often lead to suspension from work and can even give problems finding another job place similar to this similar business somewhere else because they will track that. So she's really worried about those color warnings getting on her records, and she thinks they're not really justified. She's not been doing anything different from the way she used to work before and never had problems before. This supervisor, she claims, stalks her even if she's going to the bathroom, either suspecting her doing something fishy. Even when she's going for break, the supervisor seems to be stalking her, giving her a really hard time. She's not comfortable there, and she's also female. And due to this, she has recently developed diabetes. She's often frustrated, stressed up, because she can't cope up with the kind of thing going on at the workplace. She wants some help. Person number 4 is a male. Has worked at the business, that particular one of those businesses, for 12 months. At this workplace, there are other Africans who also work out there. But he claims he's always being picked on. He does not understand why. This is a person who doesn't have issues to do with the language, which seems to be a factor in some of these areas when it comes to communications. This is somebody who's US born. Still a very young guy, very energetic guy, very humble guy. I don't even know how he can cause a problem to anybody. Whenever he requests hours from the supervisor, he's always denied. And he's a young guy. He wants to buy his own stuff. He told me he wants to buy a car. He wants to do other things that young people also have. And he does not want to do it in any other way. All he needs is to be able to work 5 days in a week. He thinks that there's some kind of somebody being unfair to him in terms of the treatment at the workplace. He even thinks that, not that he thinks, when I talked to him a little bit further, I gave him time, I was asking how he's treated by fellow workers. He thinks he's getting picked on and even bullied. He does not like that, and has really affected him. So he believes if there is anything that the commission can do, or somebody else, to address these kind of issues, that would be something really preferred. I asked him again, just like I do as I asked the other individuals, on their work ethics and performance, because I was looking for, is there something, businesses are concerned about profit and productivity. That's what they care about. I have a business, I know that's what I would care much. But sometimes they also care about workers' treatment and rights too. We know they do that too. So, but I was concentrating on whether the person goes to work on time. He says he's always on time, he's flexible. If he's called, he goes to work. And he believes he works to the best of his abilities. Yeah. He's a humble guy, as I told you earlier. He always tries to do the best he can do. So he just wants to be treated fairly so that he can work 5 days, just like others are given equal number of hours. Yeah. Okay, so the last one is a female who has worked in one of the businesses for some time. The problem she has now is that she's been laid off for almost 3 months. And this is due to those kind of issues I've just mentioned. Being not in good terms with the supervisors. She believes the business, not the business, the persons she's interacting with, probably most of the time the supervisor, line leader or group leader on the line in the factory, are not being fair to her. And she's gone through 2 supervisors. One left the business, maybe due to some complaints or problems. But even the new supervisor that came in not too long ago has not been able to help her. So she's complaining about poor communication with the supervisor. She's being accused by somebody there with a responsibility position in the factory, always being picked on and being put in trouble. She claims the supervisor always very loud to her whenever she's asking a question related to work. So the 3 months layoff started when she was now being forced to quit or go to work very early in the morning at 4 a.m. And that's something, that shift that she cannot handle given that she has children. And the workplace is very far from Iowa City here, slightly far from Iowa City here. I don't want to mention those things now, that we have to be careful. Believes that somebody responsible is probably colluding with another person to frustrate her. And this touches on a very sensitive aspect that I also don't want mentioned, trying to be very careful until we are authorized to. But she expressed that problem to me, and Commissioner Lubna was there too. She's been frustrated and been laid off for 3 months. She does not understand the reason why that is happening, why she's not being offered the hours she was told to leave, while 2 other ladies were being put to replace her. And these are things she's seeing on her face. Just because sometimes she asks questions, of course, the language is not very good, sometimes not very fluent, but that can create a problem. But I don't want to make a judgment, but she says that she believes maybe could be a language problem, or it could be just somebody who does not want to listen to her. She works very hard, very flexible also, and is always on time. This is what those events or things have done to her. She's very frustrated, and she's crying a lot. It becomes very difficult for her because she's not able to send money back home to her relatives in Africa. Due to her limited English, she gets upset very quickly when somebody else, the person she's interacting with, are not able to give her time to explain, and rush to judgment and putting her in trouble. So she wants help, and I believe these are the things why the commission was set up, because these are workplaces issues. This is why we are here. We are here to hear the truth, the voices from the people. And we are not here to take somebody to court. But our job is to listen to the community and do something about it. We have so many areas we were given a charge to work on, housing, which we are going to work on very soon here. So this is what I got from the community, and that's what I can report to the commission. And I'm able to give these notes, these are public notes, to anybody who's interested. I believe we were doing what we were supposed to do, so that's all I can say. Unless Commissioner Lubna has something to add. Just a moment. One thing I'm forgetting. This was relayed to me by Commissioner Lubna, who happens to interact with them more than me. 17 other persons, I don't know the mix, whether female or male, of same community, same workplaces, have complained, sent complaints to her. She interacts with them very well. She's an advocate for them. She even goes to those places and even talks to those people to help. Please help these people. Don't do this. This is what's happening. So I believe her when she told me that 17 other persons have launched complaints to her. regarding similar issues that is frustrating the community. So they just want help. They really want to work. So there are issues of hours, being unfair, being discriminated against, and some other malpractices that are unlawful, that are violating their work safety, violating the law, and also violating their rights. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Commissioner Kiche. Lubna? Commissioner Mohammed?
Yeah, I want to add that day as a meeting, we have like 2 males and 1 female. They should come, but there is stuff going on. They couldn't make it. Also, we have more people complaining, but they scared to come to the meeting because they said maybe there's going to be retaliation from the management.
Thank you for that information. Does anyone else have any other thoughts or things they would like to add?
I was just going to comment that if Commissioner Mohammed or Akichi, do you guys have contact information for any of these folks? Like email, phone numbers?
For the persons,
Yes.
at the moment we did not collect that information, but I believe Commissioner Lubna can get those.
I'll reach
Yeah,
out to
I
you.
have
Okay,
all the information.
Okay, I'll reach out to you tomorrow then.
Okay, thank you.
Are you suggesting through your Office of Human Rights?
Yeah, I mean, we can call.
That's what I
folks and
was
see.
going to ask, if that could be an option. Thank you. Did anyone else have any
Thank
other
you.
questions or thoughts?
I just would like to say thank you guys. I think that's fantastic that you guys were able to actually hear their voices and be their loudspeaker. I think that's great. And it's one step when people actually feel like they're being heard. That means a lot. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Gathawa, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Kiche and Lubna, for what you did.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you, Stephanie, for promising to follow up. I also wanted to add for Commissioner Kiche and Lubna, some time back, a case like this came from one of the businesses in Iowa City. And by the end of presenting, they ended up at the Center for Worker Justice. And she got helped. They did follow up. And I was curious whether whether any of them has gone to that center.
You mean like they reported to the Worker Justice?
Because the Center for Worker Justice, I don't know whether I'm saying it right or is it
You're right.
Justice for, yeah. So sometimes workers go there and the such issues are resolved. This particular one who had come to the TRC some time back, she did get her case resolved.
But I remember before I contacted them a long time ago, Worker Justice, they just deal with the people that they did not get paid. But they did not deal with discrimination.
Okay. Yeah, I remember actually that too, because really, they actually said it's the wage theft part that they dealt with. Yeah. Thank you for that reminder.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I yield.
Thank you, Commissioner Gathawa. I also was wondering if there's other places that we can, recommend and make sure that resources are given to the individuals that you all have talked to and the ones that are, afraid of retaliation that could be more immediate, since what we've heard today are horrible things that people shouldn't have to go through. But I don't know exactly how we as a commission can move forward, since our charges are more systemic, to look for those patterns and how we can bring those to light. If anyone has suggestions on how we could maybe work with any of these individuals if that's what they would choose to really follow our charges. I'm definitely open to hearing that, but definitely want to make sure that people get the resources they need. So I'm glad that Commissioner Gathawa brought up Center for Worker Justice. I heard that one individual or couple might be worried about language barriers. There are a number of English language learner classes out there that might be helpful if people don't have access to that. Just trying to make sure that people have all the resources they need to be, most successful, so that we can help advocate for them. But it's gonna be easiest if they can advocate for themselves as well. So that's just my thoughts. Go ahead, Commissioner Mohammed. And you are muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Also, there is another issue, the English barrier. Like we speak Arabic, and this is very, like miscommunicate between the employers and the employees for the Arabic, and most like the people from my community, they did not try, to ask for interpreter. And sometimes the company say we don't have interpreter. And I see that other language than Arabic, like from English to other language, except for Arabic. I feel like this also is kind for discrimination, like the people, they don't know the language and you do not try to help.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Dillard, for actually raising the concern of any immediate respite for some of these cases. And Commissioner Lubna, I also wanted to say that, I remember the Center for Worker Justice. I don't know whether I have initials right, but they were also involved in the case in the dental school where dental students, it was a big case because it went all the way to state. And but the center was involved in their picketing for the students. And it wasn't just wage theft. So other things that come out of there is also connected to Commissioner Dillard's raising of immediate help and respite to those people. They also help link people to resources. I think, Commissioner Kiche, you are even mentioning lack of rent, housing. So they do help even with that. They sometimes even connect people to mortgage payments. Just some of those concerns that happen when somebody even loses their job as a result of some of those things you mentioned. And then I've also been reminded that I've remembered NISA, our mission is eradication of violence in our communities. And some of the concerns you're mentioning, the organization assesses it as violence in our communities. So if you want, you could refer some of those and we'll do further assessment. And our services are confidential and private. And because we also do advocate for clients or survivors of such violence with employers. And a lot of the times, the outcomes are positive. Because you mentioned even language barrier, because sometimes there is miscommunication and somebody has ended up losing their job. So that's a conversation we can also have later.
as we're talking about this, I'm just thinking about how we, as our commission, can, our end goal is making recommendations and things that we can do to help affect the future. Because again, our charges are more systemic. One of the things that popped up, maybe one of our recommendations, we've heard from people in the community about workplace discrimination, which can lead towards racial injustices. And maybe it's a campaign for the city of Iowa City. And maybe there's already things in place. I know there's pockets of things of making, like finding ways to educate. We've all heard of implicit bias training or those type of trainings, but maybe a different education for specific businesses that help engage them with the different cultural competencies in this or cultural differences in the community. I know it's not always easy for businesses to have all the languages, interpreters for the languages, but how can the city help meet that barrier as well, especially with growing populations of people that speak languages other than English in this community, which is important, and we're behind in some areas of, bridging that gap. So I'm just putting the ideas out there, not saying we have to adopt any of these ideas, just things that as we think about recommendations based off the talks of what we can suggest to move forward when we put our report together, which is coming up soon, what could happen. So I welcome any other thoughts on my thoughts.
Yeah, I think I want to support your suggestion, and we have from experience that businesses are able to employ persons who speak the language, who probably their co-workers are. I remember Tyson's Chicken somewhere, and a lot of their workers are Congolese, and they work very well with them in terms of language. I think they even have some of their supervisors are always made available to help the workers understand what's going on. And even there are some complaints that I've had, people have told me myself as a community member, but they have made an effort in that area sometimes to elevate one of them to a supervisory position. These people don't have to be always pushing things, bottles and other things. I've worked in a factory, so I know when they're talking about these things. I know from where everything they're going through. I worked in a factory, printing press everywhere. I worked in Oral-B, everything. The first few years I came here. So I understand what they're going through. And if you don't have the language very well, it can be very hard. So it's just working with the businesses, training, education, and creating an understanding, like you said, that the city can support. Yeah, they have more power, more authority, more resources than we individuals, the community. We can raise the concerns, we can help them highlight the major points. But as an institution, a public institution, I think let's have a vision, the Vision 30 or something like that, to make everyone feel better and be productive in the community. I think these are things that can be done, and we will recommend what we believe have heard from people and what we believe can make a change to some of these things going on.
You've reminded me of the presentation from Better Together 2030, the Greater Iowa City, which is business partnerships, and how the city can work with those organizations to incentivize possibly any of these businesses that we're hearing about from the complaints or the issues of discrimination.
Yeah, I think it's in the interest of the community, the businesses, and the persons to work together. Mm-hmm. The businesses enjoy a good workforce from the immigrant community. They never, as you can see, sometimes they have to send people back home, which means they're always having workers available to them. They don't have to increase their wages to keep workers. Whenever business has a good supply of workers, they're in a very good position. because they can replace them and their wage cost bills never go high. So it is in their interest to do that. But if they don't do that, another company can come around, and if they have a bad record of not treating our workers very well, it can be to their detriment. So it is also in their interest in terms of productivity. All those things affect profits and productivity in the long run. And so working together as a community will be a great, great important thing. They can do surveys. Sorry, Commissioner, go ahead.
Yeah, piggybacking on Commissioner Kitche's and Commissioner Dillard's suggestion, there's something that happens in Lynn County, and I want to be corrected if I'm wrong, but the Cedar Rapids businesses, they meet and they are usually very interested, almost every year, to learn about how to relate with the immigrants / refugees, their staff. And NISA has been part of this. I've personally been involved since 2019. And since our county chapter of Iowa Workforce, they also attend, and they would also invite us to NISA to work with them on some of the cultural specific translation and languages. So we could even, our county and our city, it can borrow that in terms of sitting together and on how to resolve some of these concerns, because some of it comes from a lot of it just from not understanding one another, especially if there are language barriers. Thank you.
Thank you for that comment.
And something else, I'm curious, Commissioner Mohammed and Commissioner Kitche, you said you met at Java House. So I'm curious whether if people had maybe something to drink, something to eat, whether at whose expense. And either way, I just wanted to add, since in the course of our work for the city as TLC, sometimes we meet in spaces where some meeting may go on, and food has always been a center of people working on things. I just wanted to say again, just like Commissioner Cliff always says, his place is always open for people to meet. I just want to remind people that the NISA office, it can fit up to 12 people easily. So it's a place that you don't have to rent, since we get funded by federally and by the state. So it's always been a space that can be used by the community. And then the other thing, and I'll talk about that later, there is an organization that does give you up to $500 for food if it's getting together neighbors. So I want to put that out there as part of the solutions, as something sustainable solutions to some of these things that we have in our concerns we have in our community. Thank you.
Anyone else have any other thoughts on the current topic, or want to talk about more steps for our phase or past events that we've engaged with, or any other things?
Okay, I'll go. I think, I'm not sure whether it's end of July or beginning of August, Commissioner Kitche and I attended one of the housing presentations by the Iowa City Catholic Worker House. And some of you may have attended some of their presentations, and it's really up our TRC alley, because what they are sensitizing and educating people on is some pushing for some federal funding for the Catholic Worker House, and educating people on what they would do with such funding. Since their inception, they house immigrants until they get settled in, and especially undocumented people. And I'm not the best to talk for them, but and we did work with them as we supported when they were working on the funding, the Essential Worker Fund. So you're familiar with them. So I'm just thinking it would be a good idea because I think the funding will come in at the beginning of next year. So they're going around to different community settings and educating people on this. So I'm thinking it's a good idea and we had discussed this with Commissioner Kitche, because we think it would be good, and since it's part of the work that we are doing on improving and bringing equity into our communities, if they came and presented to the commissioner. And I did go ahead and talk to one of the coordinators of these events, and she said if the commissioners would agree to them presenting, and we could work a time when they could present to us. Then other activities I've been involved in the community. There's an organization, I think it's called Resilient Sustainable Futures in Iowa City. It's a non-profit, and their offices are on 1927 Keokuk. And they have a gathering space for community members. And what excites me about this is they offer, one of the things that excited me is that they offer $500 for food for neighbors who gather for various reasons, for building and positive things, activities in our community. And I was discussing with Commissioner Dillard on whether one of the directors of this nonprofit, and I'm also, one thing I'm excited about this is the gatherings they have and the offering of the money. It's people in our community, Johnson County, Iowa City, and working together. And it resonates with our work of reconciliation and people working together in our communities. And since I'm not the best to speak for them, I discussed with Commissioner Dillard whether we would give them a chance to come and we listen to them. And this also jives with either us going to the communities, the members of the community, or groups of the community, or them coming to us in our work for the remaining time. And thank you. I yield.
Thank you.
Thank you for the information.
I just wanted to add on the housing a little bit, and me, Commissioner and Commissioner Wangui attended that event, and I think they are interested. I believe the Commissioner will really be like a situation where they can hear from them. I've also talked with the persons at the homeless shelter. They told me whenever we are ready, we can set up a date. I was thinking of sometime early October, maybe the 3rd or something like that. I think it falls on a Thursday, when these issues of housing can be brought on a panel of people, the Hispanic group, the homeless shelter people, and other entities who have been working hard on issues of housing, choice, and affordability in our community. It's a big thing, and the city just got a grant, and they already had a survey. They're conducting a survey, and that was one of the events. That it was more to collect information from people on how best to use that money to help the community alleviate issues of affordability and choice. So this is not only to immigrant community. This is a grant from the federal grant for all persons who live in the community who have problems with housing. Could be starting from building new structures, subsidizing some people in the housing, and all other issues that relate to choice of housing, discrimination, mortgages. Yeah. So I think it's something that would really be great as one of probably our, I won't say our final things, but final one of those big topics that it was in our priority list to work on. And so I think we will inform the commission, the chair, when these people are ready. But I think they are willing. They want to come talk to us and be part of the conversation going on in the community. Yeah, it looks not very nice if other entities, the housing commission that belongs to the other city talks about it, other private organizations, landlords and other things talking, and we are silent. Yet that is one of the major things. You ask Commissioner Lobna, she deals with these problems every day. She is being called in the middle of the night. Sometimes she has to send me a WhatsApp. See how our fellows are having trouble getting a house. Yeah. And she has, I can't read the Arabic, but I'm in part of that WhatsApp group, and I see the activity of issues, problems, and so people are suffering in the area of housing, especially when it comes to vouchers. So we need to talk as a commission, hear this, and put it in a good report to the city. Yeah.
Okay, I want to add something, and Stephanie, I should follow up with you, but I'm so busy. I talked to Jim again, the lawyer with legal aid, and I said we need to do something about the law for Section 8, and he talked to the other lawyer from legal aid, and he said, he called me back and emailed me like 10 days ago. He said he talked to the lawyers, and they said each family, they have to complain with the legal aid about discrimination. And he sent to me a paralegal. His name is Sam. His last name is Buhlig. And Sam, we have his direct number. He's gonna start, communicate with this family and take their application so they can get them to the lawyers. And I connected him with one of the family, but yesterday they missed his call, but he said to me, I have to email him all the information for these families so they can start communicating with them and fill the applications with them. So far, with the legal aid, we have 3 families about the housing. 2 of them is more than a month, and one of them 3 weeks ago.
Thank you.
Stephanie with us.
Say it one more time.
Stephanie.
Oh,
Did you hear me?
Stephanie. Okay.
Yeah. I heard you. I'm not sure what your question.
Huh?
I'm not sure what you're asking me, but I did hear what you said.
Oh, I should follow up with you
Gotcha,
because you sent
gotcha.
me him.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I will follow up with you tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for this awesome dialogue. There's so much that we can talk about. It seems like if we were to explore a true telling session again, it could be Section 8 housing, it could be workforce discrimination. It seems like exactly what we wanted to do, which is go into the community and hear from people and get information is exactly what we've done. I mean, I know it's a little bit slower than maybe we want to, but these things take time. So I'm excited about what has been done so far. Thinking about the next tabling event that I know of, I believe it's the African Festival on the 28th. I'm not sure if that's something that we want to join in on. I haven't even looked into what it means to be a part of that.
Based upon past meetings, I had already reached out to them, and so there's a table already for the well, let me rephrase that. There's a spot where you can bring a table and chairs and participate.
Thank you for that anticipation. I don't know what the time is offhand. Do you know, Stephanie?
Yeah, I do. They want,
Do you have it?
they would like contractually for people to be there from 12 to 9, but,
12 to 9 p.m.
yeah, but, I think that would be difficult for a lot of organizations and groups, so.
Yeah. I know in my own professional world, if we can't be there, we try to have a table and just have information there for people to, sign up or in some way. So that's a possibility. Is that something we still want to try to figure out if we can make happen on that day?
Yeah. Yes, I think we had already put in our names for all these events, even including the African festival. So,
Okay.
yeah, I remember putting my name there. Yeah,
Just
I think
making
I
sure.
got something from Stephanie, like that on ours. Yeah.
Thank you for
But I
reminding me.
will be there, yeah, as a participant and also as a commissioner. I'll be wearing my TRC shirt. I won't wear the African attire stuff, but I
Well-
think I want to be there like somebody working, not just enjoying the African festival. Yeah, so I'll be there.
Well, maybe you should do both.
Yeah, maybe. Well, the event goes up to 9. After some stage, I'll get tired of the TLC stuff and get into eating and dancing. So there's a lot of time. Yeah. So. Yeah.
I'll plan on just having this stuff ready for the next meeting on
Thank
the
you.
18th. So.
Yeah, yeah. And I still have some stuff from the leftovers from the other events.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was there any other events that I'm forgetting about besides that one? I don't remember. That was on that survey. I think that was.
I think that university event might have been, but I mean, that was, it's past.
Right. Awesome. Well, if there are any other opportunities in the
You
community.
mean the Duke survey, University of Duke survey? The survey that you
University
sent?
student org fair.
Yeah, I think like at your, I don't remember if it was July meeting or probably your July meeting, you
that's
kind
a
of have a
different
list of
one, yeah,
events,
yeah.
but the one university event was this week, wasn't it?
It was on Wednesday.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
so.
the-
Well, I mean, if there are any other ones coming up, I appreciate everyone, communicating with each other and letting us know what we can do and how we can move forward offline. Any other things that we want to talk about moving forward?
I wanted to add that I will be with Commissioner Kiche at the African Festival, again, both as a participant and also some, depending on how many hours we decide on, also to table for TRC. But at the same time, I'll also table for NISA at the festival. Yeah.
We can talk about some strategies offline, depending on who's available to be there.
Yeah, and then there's also, I don't know whether anybody, but I'm thinking of Commissioner Kiche. He's been following. I think he's attended some of the meetings for the Welcome Week, welcoming immigrants to our communities, and that's also an opportunity for TRC to mingle, meet and greet. Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up. I just saw the email today. That is a great idea.
Yeah, and then the other opportunity, there's some coalitions in our communities that meet monthly. To mind comes the Refugee Alliance of Johnson County. I think it would be good if one or two, or however many commissioners, so long as we don't end up breaking protocol for public meetings, to present to some of our to one of our organizations about what we are about. And if that's something we would be interested in, we could have people's emails added to their email list, so that we'll be knowing when they meet.
I think
They
that's a
meet
great.
the last Monday of the month at 10 a.m.
Unless someone disagrees with me, I think we want to be able to go wherever we can, as long as someone's available. Commissioner Gathua, are you able to get us on an agenda, or do we just show up?
Usually, if you just show up, you would have an opportunity to introduce yourself and greet the people and briefly say what you're about. But if you want something bigger, like presenting on TRC work, it would be good to be put on the agenda to do a presentation on the TRC. So it depends on what one wants.
I mean, it's easy for us to just show up, but maybe we would love to do a presentation, or at least something that would just showcase a little bit more, if that's possible. I don't know.
Yeah, that one would have to be put on the agenda, and it's not difficult because they are always that's the point of the mission of the alliance, to just know what everybody is doing in the community, those who are working with refugees and immigrants, and TRC work does fall in that realm. So I'm using so many words. Yeah, it's just a matter of letting the board know that we would be interested. And I think, Chastity, to answer your questions faster, if we agree that that's something we would want to do, I can let the person in charge know that we would be interested in presenting.
Anyone against presenting? I think it sounds like we would like to do that if possible, but if you can find out what the meeting is this month, if we can't present this month, maybe at least a handful of us can go just to introduce ourselves this month.
Yeah, I'll definitely forward the date for the next month, and I'll also ask, and then I'll send the feedback back to you, Commissioner Dillard.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And if you are able to, you can send it to Stephanie and she can forward it to all of us. So we're all in there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for that. So even on the information on the other presentations to us, I guess that's also a good way of communicating back to all of us at the same time versus you, me, and then communicate. Yeah.
At least for me, I think that's easier. If you don't hear
Okay.
back from me via email, please send me a text or call me because I missed it.
Okay.
Anything else that we want to discuss right now? It sounds like Stephanie is going to help us sending out emails to people who have expressed interest, and hopefully we can set up some meetings that way. Commissioner Gathwa is going to reach out to the Refugee Alliance. I'm not sure if Commissioner Kiche and Mohammed, are you planning on following up with the people you've talked to? Or if there's anything moving forward with that, please let us know how we can help with that.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, I'm gonna connect
We
tomorrow
will
with
work
Stephanie.
with her and to see how we can make that move on smoothly. And see
That's
for the other
wonderful.
commissioners too, also. Yeah. 'Cause since we are always probably in closer touch with them than other commissioners, I will let you do. So, Commissioner Chair, before you call for adjournment, I just have a question. And we have some little money in our purse that can be good for water. I tell you, on that day, me and Commissioner Lubna were there with those fellows. We were thirsty like hell. We didn't have time to even look for anything. But if there was just something, water could have really been. I felt so bad for those persons. Yeah, like I could not afford water for them. But I think my mind. I could afford the water, but my mind was on the real task. But I'm just thinking in the future. You know, we don't have anybody to help us here in the commission anymore. Yet the money is there. So this is just a problem. Yeah, I don't know how we're going to resolve this.
So you're saying that you wanted to provide water?
Yeah, something like
So
water.
I
yeah.
think if
You
any
would just
events
have
we
to
could just-
ask.
Yeah.
I
we
mean,
just-
yeah, you just
anytime
have to
we want-
ask. Nobody said anything to me
Oh,
about
okay.
it.
You just ask. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have that budget that we had approved a couple weeks ago. So if I encourage any of the events that we have, we budgeted for food and water for those, any of those gatherings within reason. I mean, I don't think we have to come back and approve it because we've already approved it. So if you let Stephanie know, maybe CC me on it, so that we're just making sure we're not going over budget too much. I think it's fine. We definitely want to make sure people feel welcomed and be aware of cultural differences.
Yeah, I was just not aware I could put that on Stephanie's shoulder.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, I mean, and Annie's here, but I mean, the city always handled the bill for the food that you were provided or the public. So that was always out of the city, well, or the TRC budget, however you want to state that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So everyone's understands that. So moving forward, we have some dollars we can use. Was it divided? But the amount was 20 grand. Is that what we? Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think that's what it was. I'd have to go back
No,
and look
that's
at
what it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, the next few meetings, let's figure that out. I mean, I also think, Stephanie, if, correct me if I'm wrong, if like any of us incur some dollars, we can give you a receipt and get reimbursed. If it's,
You can. The quickest way is, is if it's like a transaction, if you can just let me know and I can call and just pay over the phone or contact them.
Okay.
Is because in terms of the turnaround on you getting reimbursed, that's going to be different, depending
Yes.
on when it's submitted, you could only wait maybe 4 days, but you also could wait until the next, Friday cycle of checks, so
okay.
yeah.
Thank you for that information. Was there anything else? We've been having a great discussion. I do know I haven't checked in or heard about the documentary. I'm going to work on that unless someone else has an update about that. Lou agreed to, the last time I was here, to help lead us on the documentation part of our charges. So we definitely need to start talking about that and what that looks like as time ticks away. But if there's nothing else, I'm going to move on to the next agenda.
Sorry to take you back for a moment.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to step out,
yeah,
guys. I'm sorry. I
meeting
gotta get
and
out of there. So.
Thank you, Commissioner Johnson. Go ahead, Commissioner Gathwa.
Yeah, as we are talking about TRC meeting and greeting our communities, I would welcome you, anybody who would be able to meet and greet the bigger NISA, our organization, and talk about the TRC. We could organize a meeting over Zoom
Yes.
with a number of commissioners. Okay, I'll talk to our director tomorrow and see. The best time that works for us is usually 9:30 a.m. That's when we usually have our staff meeting. So if you're having guests, we usually can do that on a Friday, 9:30 a.m. So whomever would be available.
As long as it's
Would be-
4 of us or less, that is totally fine.
Yeah.
If you can
And-
send an email out and figure out what day works best for you, just whoever responds.
Any Friday. So this is more from, it looks like, okay, not tomorrow, too soon.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Maybe next Friday.
But yeah, I'll ask our director for Friday,
I can do next Friday
9:30.
if you do it
What
next
did you
Friday.
say?
I'm available next Friday if you're able, if that's when you decide to do it. Just putting it out there.
Yeah, and it would be good if you're available. I'm already available and I can switch to the TRC side if we want to be 2 commissioners in the meeting. But yeah, so thank you. The other thing and this more of a repetition, if just confirming that if we could have the resiliency in Iowa City on our agenda for next week.
You're talking about RISFIC with Sarah Haroon?
Yeah,
Yes.
resilient, sustainable future for Iowa City, RESFIC.
Yes.
our
I made sure to
community.
talk to Stephanie about that. I'm sorry about not having her tonight, but she is on the agenda for next Thursday, the 19th,
Yeah,
officially.
yeah. I'll send I'll send that to Stephanie for the agenda, and so that we can sort of let her know officially that she's on. And once I confirm with Catholic Worker, once they confirm on their calendar which of our meetings, I will communicate that with Stephanie. Thank you. I'm done for the night.
Okay. Thank you so much. Well, if there's no one else, I'm going to go to, I'm going to open it up for public comments in the room. Would you like to comment on this, Annie? This discussion?
I've been gone and family sick, but it's great to hear what you're doing. You're reaching out to people. You're bringing back their voices. You're thinking of the systems. You're thinking of all kinds of, it's so great to be here and see what you're doing. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Too. Yes.
Is there anyone online, Stephanie, that would like to make a comment on this agenda item? Okay. Thank you so much. I'm going to move on to agenda item number 6, which is announcements of commissioners. Is there any announcements? Just remember, we cannot engage with each other. Well, I have an announcement. As always, my organization has an exciting event, Rock the Block and Raise the Roof. We are expanding into a 3rd location in Towncrest, and I'd love to invite everyone here to this awesome event where we're going to celebrate our kickoff and groundbreaking ceremony in that area, Saturday, September 21st. 1041 Arthur Street in front of the new site location of our soon-to-be early childhood location from 2 to 5 p.m. It's going to be a lot of fun. The Funk Daddies are going to be performing, and just hope that everyone can come out and celebrate.
Okay.
Anyone
What's the
else?
name of the company?
The neighborhood centers. The neighborhood centers.
Okay.
Can we get that through email,
Yeah,
please?
Yes. Stephanie will forward it to everyone. Anyone else have anything? Otherwise, I'm going to ask if Stephanie has any announcements.
Just kind of thinking back on the conversation about inviting folks to your next meeting for kind of a meet and greet. I'll talk to Eric about that tomorrow. I don't know if that's specific enough for an agenda item,
Okay.
since you kind of don't know what the conversation may look like. So I'll talk to him and then just send a group email out to everyone, because it may be that he prefers for you to kind of stick with the non-quorum, non-meeting, so that you don't have kind of the structure that agenda would require for folks, so.
Thank you for that. Okay, well, I motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye-bye online.
Thank you.
Thanks.